And we're live. Look at that.
Back and ready for it all over again.
Yes. Let's just get straight into the intro.
Do it.
5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
On the edge of the box is Madden. Madden trying to manufacture the shot, gets it away, it's there! Oh my word! What a goal from Paddy Madden! The Irishman strikes again! And is that the goal that's going to send Stockport County back into the Football League?
Well, so that was 2022. Goodbye. A great year for both County and for the podcast. Podcast-wise, it was a year that had nudity.
Excellent stuff.
I'm
No, good stuff.
undoing the shirt, right?
I've upped it from good stuff to excellent stuff.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Excellent stuff indeed.
I don't remember that.
No, we were very heavily lubricated that week, I think, and most weeks, to be honest. We had some savage clapbacks.
But he said the show was shit and he'd rather listen to BBC Radio Manchester talk to Hippolyte. So
He was in the chat there, so
I know. Well, maybe. Anyway, let's
turn on it.
Yeah, let's enough about that.
You give and you give and you give. Look. We had the world's worst Danny Dyer impression since Danny Dyer.
That's 2 weeks in a row. I've nearly been crying for laughter on this show.
Fucking slag did in Paraguay.
and it's just some Paraguayan defenders going own goal from like 40 yards, and it's done it. More importantly, though, we had some insightful lines of questioning.
Aside from your time playing with us at what was a tough time for the club, obviously you were filed, you beat us several times, we filed, beat us with Hartlepool. So my question, I suppose, is, why do you hate us?
I always like hearing you laugh at us. That's always good. I got it on the clip then, and I got it for real. That was great. And more importantly, we had like exclusive update from a pair of legends.
Talk of the devil now.
We're the wonderful toes.
Yes, mate. Go on, mini lad.
What's going on, lads?
How's it going?
All right. Once across the party, he's been boring us to death.
Oh, absolutely. Mate. We've just been talking about his stag do, innit?
Oh,
heavy.
I don't remember any of it.
Yes, yes, it is good to be back. This is the Scarf Bagara War, smashing in the back doors of 2023 as we begin our 9th series. 9, Russ. 9. Well, it's ours only got 2.
Yeah, it did.
It's good to be back. You weren't here last week, were you? So it's probably good for you to be back, isn't it?
Yeah, I feel like I've had December off, to be honest, because I've hardly been on. It's been a mad December. It's been a mad December. I wonder if people were wondering if we'd had like a falling out. You know, you see those little. Did you know? Well, yeah. Did you see those? I saw one of those little pop-ups when I was browsing. You know, like from the Sun, it said "Podcast Sexy Party Romp Feud," and I thought, is that us? It's not. We haven't had a feud.
I mean, to be honest, every party is a sexy party when I'm there. I'm just oozing with it. It's weird how the only things you can ooze are sexuality and puss. You don't ooze anything else, do you? It's like two diametrically like opposing things. Like I'd rather ooze sexuality than puss, but I'll just have to contend with neither for now.
So yeah, it was. So yeah, I've just had loads of stuff on. Been ill and I've been away with work, so that's what my December consisted of. I'm back now though, and I'm raring to go.
Good. Well, I'm hoping to use our because it's still technically Christmas because people have still got the decks up and all that. So I'm lobbying for because obviously we're never going to be allowed to like switch on the lights in Stockport, but maybe they should have us to switch them off. That should be a thing, and they can just have us like flipping the circuit breaker, and then that's it. That's it. Fuck off out of Christmas. It's done. So I'm hanging on for that next week, mate. I might just turn up and turn them off myself.
Yeah, just without them knowing. When do they turn them off? Is it like it's on the 6th? Is it the 12th day?
Yeah, I mean, if you're religiously inclined, which I'm not, I'm just a godless heathen, aren't I? So I'd have had them down and switched off like as soon as the last mouthful of turkey's gone on. Well, I say last mouthful of turkey. Roast potato is the last bit I have because that's my favourite bit of a roast. So I always,
So you save the best till last, do you?
yeah, like Celine Dion.
Yeah. Yeah.
What's your favourite bit of a Christmas dinner? There's a song called "Save the Best Till Last."
Oh, was they? Right, I'm not really sure.
Yeah.
I'm not really up on her work, to be honest.
No, I'm not. Apart from that and the Titanic one. That's it.
Yeah.
Both terrible.
No, my favourite part of a Christmas dinner, I don't know if this is allowed, but it's Yorkshire pudding. So that's always last for me.
We'll have a chat after the show, mate.
Why? Why would you be so bothered about it if you're a godless person?
Well,
Don't.
Yorkshire puddings weren't in the Bible at the first Christmas dinner, and then it was like, oh, we'll always have them. But
and neither was turkey.
No, it was in the Thanksgiving Bible, though, wasn't it?
Ooh.
Have Yorkshire puddings are delicious. Have them with what you want, but traditionally, they're not traditional to me. Yorkshire puddings go with beef rather than poultry.
How do you know I didn't have beef? I didn't have beef, by the way.
No, I'm going to have beef in a minute. If you don't have stuff that doesn't belong on you. Did you have cranberry sauce as well?
No, I'm not a fan of cranberry sauce.
Yes, yeah. Right. You're back in a good books.
But cranberry sauce is for turkey, though, isn't it?
Yeah. If you're an absolute deviant, yeah.
Yeah.
Why would you put fruit on like meat?
Yeah. I don't know. Anyway, what we got tonight?
I don't know. This is what we should have chatted about beforehand.
I know, yeah, before it started. Yeah. We've got Alex from DN35 coming on from the Grimsby podcast, which seeing as though they would, he's going to be delighted, isn't he? So we're going to talk to him for 10 to 15 minutes and get the lowdown.
I went on theirs last week after I'd done our show with our guest Ben Walker, in which I think it's quite clear we were fairly well lubricated, and then I had to go on the Grimsby one after, and it got to a point where I was seeing like two Alexes talking to me. I was just like, oh, I can't do this. Too much for me. Too much for me. I've really taken up drinking since before Christmas.
Have you?
I've really got stuck into it again. Yeah, it turns out I like lager now as well. I've never been a
lager fan.
I don't mind the odd one, but now I can put away like pint after pint of lager. Yeah. Well, on New Year's Eve, once I spent New Year's Eve with my good friends Dave and Emma, who you've met, and
I've met, yeah.
Who like you inexplicably, and I was with them. And after David got sick of making cocktails, it got to like 4 a.m, and then he got the beers out. And normally you'd be like, I don't want a beer after like cocktails and bubbly all night. But before we move on from non-county stuff and onto county stuff, if we must. So I was at Emma and Dave's on New Year's Eve, and their friend Sam was there. She's American, not her fault. It's fine. How's this for a revelation, right? I think she's like 28, 29. She's currently watching Friends for the first time. You've never seen Friends, and she's
at all.
At all, and it just blew my mind. I was like staring at her like she was some exhibit in a zoo. So I really on the whole night, just me like. So you've not seen any of it? It's like, no, I'm up to like series. I'm not gonna do the accent because that'd be weird. She's like up to like the end of series 2 in a minute. So I'm just
did she say like a lot?
No more than me.
Oh right, you don't say it at all. I don't think, do you?
Like isn't really a word that comes into people's vocabulary when they're around me, to be honest.
No, but do you say it? No, that's what I mean. Did she say it a lot? Because the Americans say like a lot, don't they? So I've like not seen it. So like I'm probably going to watch it now, and like I'm up to season 4. They'll say.
It's season, yeah. That's season, don't they? Yeah. Oh no, but she came to uni over here and stuff like that. So maybe that's been knocked out of her on the mean streets of Sheffield. I don't know. I'll ask her next time when I see her next year.
I'll ask her. Nice. Got the state in there. Hey?
Very good. Yeah. God, I'm just trying to think of other states to do now. Now, carry on.
I don't think there are any. It was Jamaica. That's not a US state, is it? It's a country.
No, she came of her own accord. Mate.
I was going to say, hey, it's proper dad joke stuff, isn't it? We have this running theme in our house. I say dad jokes, but they're not funny. Jason Manford or any comedian says them, and they're spot on. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Really annoys me.
It's almost like you're not cut out to be a stand-up comedian, like me.
Yeah. You're not cut out to be a stand-up comedian.
I'm
Oh,
not,
you-
no.
Oh,
No.
you are a stand-up comedian.
I mean, on the face of it, I should be put out to it because I've got that mix of like taking the piss out of myself and crushingly low self-esteem. But no, it's not for me. That was
I feel like-
a depressing note
It
to
was a
come on
bit.
to 10 minutes in, wasn't it? It's like, oh. I'll stick to the podcasts. I think.
So yeah, we've got Alex coming on, and then after that, we're just going to chat about the footy, aren't we? And we're going to tell everybody what we've got coming up this year. Generally, we'll probably get to that later. Alex isn't here yet. Should we just start talking about the Walsall game? Because you didn't cover that, did you, last week?
No, on account of the fact it hadn't yet been played.
It hadn't happened, yes. Which
Yeah,
which helps, doesn't it?
Yeah. Yeah. The shit just writes itself, you know.
So I've got a funny feeling we're going to start talking about the Walsall game, and Alex is going to turn up.
Yeah. But I've got the goals and everything for the Walsall
I know,
game, so
I know.
just-
I feel like we should
Oh, you've
save
been looking
them.
in my treasure chest, have you?
Yeah, I have. Yeah, yes, I did lift the lid on that. I'll tell you what. Should we just talk about 2022 for a few minutes? I know on the last show you did do with Ben your best moment of 2022, and Ben did his. Podcast wise, what's been your best moment? I know you've pulled some clips out before, but what was your best moment of 2022 podcast wise?
It's got to be Charlie in the King's Tap, isn't it?
Yeah,
Like 4 days after ending an 11-year wait, and he took the time to come and spend time with us oiks, us plebs, us nerds. And yeah, it's great. It's good. Apart from the fact I wore those shoes that I couldn't wear because I ended up with like a blister and I was limping around the whole night. I'd only had them on for like half an hour and ended up with a massive blister. So that took the shine off the evening.
so were they new shoes? Were they?
Yeah, never worn them again. No, in fact, I sold them on Vinted a few months ago because it was just, not for me, that.
Like a brand new girlfriend, you've got to persevere and break them in.
You're fucking disgusting, you are. That's vile. Absolutely vile. This is the type of stuff that probably the type of stuff people watch this for, really, isn't it? So, what was your favourite podcasting moment of 2022?
I mean, it's probably the Charlie one, but my second favourite, and I mean, my second favourite's got to be Tom Bennett because he's my favourite ever player for County. So that's got to be that. And then I met him at this 96-97 gig, which was amazing. But my third favourite, I know you've not asked for top three, but I'm going to tell you anyway. I think my third favourite was probably having Rainsy on the show to talk about in depth about the academy and all of that in a lot of depth. And I don't want to sound mean now, Nick, but it was kind of better because you weren't there because we didn't go off on a tangent.
Yeah,
we just talked. We just talked about. It was a bit more boring because you weren't there, granted, and not as funny. But we spoke.
You say that now. You say that now, but
no, I genuinely mean that. Genuinely mean that.
Thanks. Well, I'm not some like uncontrollable tithead. I'm not like some uncontrollable tithead. Like I know how to adapt how I am. That's why I do two semi-successful. Words are my tool. Words are my tool. That's why I do two semi-successful podcasts because I can just adapt to whatever the situation is. So
yeah,
it might have elevated it. It's fine as it was. It's very good.
I agree. But I felt it was a time to be serious. Not serious, but it was time to focus on the football and not have flippant comments about young boys because that's what would have happened.
You've been looking at my notes, haven't you? And anyway, talking of young boys, we're delighted to be joined by Grimsby's #1 podcaster. Are we not, Russell?
Yeah, we are. We are delighted to be joined. He's in the back room, drinking the champagne that we've laid on for him. We'll get him out and we'll do a little transition to welcome him. There we go. Welcome, Alex.
Evening, gents. Don't worry, it's Wrexham champagne from last time, so we haven't even knocked on yours yet. This one says aviation gin on it.
Yeah, I suppose we could have 5 minutes on last season, couldn't we? just to relive it again. I mean, just throw in stuff if you want.
Oh yeah, we'll do. Don't worry. We're going to be living on that for a while. You'll come back. You'll join us in like 15 years when we find our way into League One, and be like, yeah, you remember that? That was fun. Beats losing to Harrogate.
So, talk to us about the Grimsby. Well, obviously the Grimsby match, the match with Stockport Grimsby. How did you see it?
It was the sort of performance from our side of view that you would get from a team that hasn't won for a while and needs to have a response. So it was quite dogged. I know we had a header early on, which was sort of pretty. Sort of Luke Waterfall would have smashed it in, and there was an opportunity later on where I think one of your guys headed it away before what could have been either a spectacular finish or a spectacular save, but it wasn't much to write home about either for both teams. It's just a really good physical game. Do really enjoy playing you guys, and that's not just because we haven't lost in the league since 2012, but
but as one of your colleagues pointed out, we've not played you since. Well, let's just say the last 4 times. I think you've beat us in the league, haven't you? Is it last 4
with
times?
a team? Yeah, something like that. And you know what's going to happen though is when we just seem to get you on an off day. It's nice to be someone's bogey team. It's quite a pleasure. It's something we don't usually. Bromley come into play and we're like, oh shit, here we go, and they smashed 3 past us, but hopefully that won't happen for a while yet. But yeah, it was nice to do so. The pitch was shit, let's be entirely honest, and it didn't help, and we're trying to work out why it's so bad. It's just old. It hasn't been relayed since like the 30s, and you can tell, and it's usually half decent, but I think because it's so old, it's like its sort of window of working is quite slim. So if it rains too much, it's fucked. If it's too icy, it's fucked. And the same with the training ground. So the second the training ground gets iced over, they all have to go play on Blundell Park for a bit and train there. And you could tell that it's been used because you can see those sort of element kettle lines where people have done their dog runs and stuff like that in the corners. I just don't know what that random bit is in front of where you guys were sat. I don't know what that really random bit is there. Like that's if it was like in the goalmouth area, it would make sense. But it's just like, is Max Crocombe or whoever's played there at some point just really arrogant? It's probably the Salford goalkeeper. He had nothing else to do, so he just stood sort of like on the edge of his area, just
in a scrum-like position. Just
exactly. Just doing that thing, like in American football when they get set and they all start tapping their feet. That's what he's. We used to the groundsman's trying to run on, trying to stop him. It was pretty poor and it didn't really help. But I guess it was a nicely worked one. I didn't know Mark could throw. Which was lovely because Cropper is cropped at the moment. So it's nice to have another option because looking at that pitch, that's the way we're going to score. It's not going to be a beautiful overlay and passing into the edge of the area at the moment. It was nice, very much needed because Hurst would have been feeling the pressure. I think we were talking, Nick, before, if we'd have not won that, we'd have won 1 game in 3 months in the league, which is pretty poor.
Wow. I know the pitch didn't allow us to play our game. Challoner said that. I mean, it was clear from the way we play, but you mentioned it on your pod in the week as well. That Crocombe, you felt that Crocombe wasn't as confident with that patch of mud in front of him.
No, and it's a weird one. I really like Crocombe now because he basically kicked out James McEwen, who'd been like a stalwart at the club for like 12 years or something. But he'd really endeared himself. He's a brilliant shithouser, and it's wonderful. It's nice when we played Solihull in that playoff final. I think when we scored, there was 10 minutes left, and I think the ball was in play for a minute and a half. He went down with cramp, and I think when we scored, he took the ball and kicked it behind the goal, and it was obviously at West Ham's ground, and they'd taken out that temporary seating behind this thing, and they had one ball boy for that whole area, sort of like that whole semicircle. So he just booted it into that part. So this poor 11-year-old had to go chasing after it for 2 minutes. But he's just not on form at the moment. He's not there.
No, it's good to have a shithouse on your team, though, isn't it? And not I do like a good shit house.
After 11 years in non-league of like cursing these shit house players that every team had, it's nice when you're on the right side of it, isn't it?
Yeah,
I assume
definitely.
like 85% of your games in the lower like regional league and stuff was they take the lead from a really dodgy set piece, and then they spend the next 75 minutes with everybody on the ground. Everyone's booked by the end of it.
Yeah, but it doesn't. Pretty much. But it doesn't really change as you go up, does it? Even in National League and like this league, teams just come, and as soon as they get the lead, or even at 0-0, they're playing for time. You can just see it all the time. So frustrating.
I think Harrogate are really bad for it. Salford, we find, are really quite poor for it as well. I remember once we played Salford and we scored from a free kick, and their bench complained so loud that the fourth official gave, because it was that new rule when you couldn't sit in the middle of the wall, stand in the middle of the wall and break it up. And the fourth official had sort of disallowed the goal. I had never seen that before in my life. They just kicked and screamed. And it's probably Roy Keane in the background, just sort of menacingly standing over a fourth official. But it was, there's just so many. It doesn't change. It just the grounds get slightly bigger at the topper end. Like that's it. Like you're still playing Sutton or Harrogate, and you're going, oh well, they're 1-0 up now from a corner, so that's the rest of this game sorted. But you don't have to go to Weymouth at least, which is quite nice.
No, we'll leave that to Wrexham.
Yeah. And again, next season, by the looks of it. Which is
I certainly got the feeling from the game on New Year's Day that it was going to be a long throw or a set piece or something, because it was just one of those. I mean, not make it excuses, because Challoner hasn't in his interview, despite the fact there was a bug going round. I think we've got a few players out with it, that horrible bug that everyone's picking up. That's not COVID, but feels worse.
I've got that. Yeah, it's terrible.
I had it. It was horrible, absolutely awful. And you've been in Guildford today, so I mean, it's a double whammy of shit, isn't it?
Well, this is the thing. I'm going to be, I live down here, so this is sort of my northern credentials. I'm more northern than anything. I'm wandering around looking for gravy and stuff, and just. I remember when I moved. My wife lives there. My wife was from here, so when I moved here, we moved sort of November, and I went to bonfire night, which in Grimsby, bombing night is quite a big thing. And we used to have it on the beach until one day they fucked up the tide times, and you watch the bonfire just go out to sea. They like, I knew I was in Surrey when like there was a falafel stand at the bonfire night. It's like, is no one just doing like 55p hot dogs from Netto? Where do I get one of them? And it's like, no. Yeah, you got falafel. It's next to, Pete Townsend's house or whatever it is down here. Or Graham. Oh yeah, and I saw Graham Lasso. That was it. And on the same bonfire night, I was like, okay, this is different. You don't see that in Grimsby. But down here now.
What's the Christmas market situation down there? Is it like, do they bill it as a Christmas market, and then when you walk outside, it's just like a couple of bratwurst stands and like some lights? Because that does not a Christmas market make. I'm looking at you, Stockport.
Farnborough's bad for that. Farnborough's terrible. They've got they had a bratwurst little stand, which is basically just a shed from Wickes that's got out of hand. And then they had like a Spider-Man like trampoline thing where the kids get zipped up and then they jump for a little bit, and that was it. That was their Christmas market. But it's down here. It's all like Winchester and Bath, and let's go down there. Firstly, I get criticised for saying Bath like that, but it's spelled B-A-F, and that's how you say it. Yeah, there's no R in it. But yeah, that was it. They're probably still going. They make a load of it, but it's all the same crap, isn't it? It's all the same stuff. It's all the same. Like they've all got
That's the best thing about Christmas for me, is the local newspaper articles of like families who've been charged like 150 quid to go to some winter wonderland, and then you go and it's just like just the car gets stuck in the mud, and like Santa's having a fag outside, and there's a great joy.
There's a Great Dane with antlers on. They've got one. They do have one near us, which is like, it's near Windsor Castle, and it's like Winter Wonderland or something. It's like 300 quid a go. It's like Lapland UK or some crap like that. I was like, you are not going there. We are going to the local garden centre, and you're going to go see a disenfranchised teenager with a beard on, and that's it, and live with it. Oh, magic of Christmas. But yeah, it's all right. How are you guys finding it though at the moment? Like you seem to have got back into the rhythm of it. And I mean, I don't know. We haven't seen you guys on a good day, so I don't really know what the Stockport mantra is.
This is it. I mean, you beat us. I think it was our first defeat in 13, if I'm something like that.
Oh, the one where Sarovic got sent off.
No. I mean, this one you just beat us.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. But
so many.
Yeah, but this is every time we play you, it seems to be that you're on some sort of good run or something like that. When we played you earlier in the season, you beat us. We weren't playing particularly well, and you had the best away form. So yeah, it's going to go.
And that's our peak. That's probably been the peak of this season so far. That's as well as we've played. We lost Ryan Taylor, who everyone is saying is a really shit striker, and he's actually our only striker, so that's a bit of a problem. So we're now sort of, Purse brought in a couple of panicked loan signings, which he's quite used to doing. Like Mana Desaruve and Tristan Abraham stunk of like, oh crap, it's the 25th of January and we haven't got anyone who's free, and they just worked out. But yeah, the same with like Richardson and Simmons, who are on loan from Birmingham and I think it's like Burnley. But Richardson's all right. Simmons just seems to have, I think he's already gone back. But we need someone like everybody. Like you guys are the only ones going, oh, we don't need a striker. We've got 7. How many have you got?
Well, this is it. We've just got ours. But we've been wanting a striker since the start of the season, haven't we, Nick?
Yeah.
You can't want another striker.
In terms of out and out strikers, all we've got is Wootton and Madden. And if either of them, if anything happens to either of them, we're knackered.
You're the Veruca Salts of League 2. You've got you got Scott Quigley.
No, he's at Rochdale.
Is he on loan?
Yeah.
See, this is it though. Your cuppeth runneth over. It's like we don't even need him. We can send him to Rochdale. And then I'd have him in a heartbeat. And then you've got who else did you have? The bloke from Notts County who we made cry. Wootton. And then you've got Madden as well.
Yeah. Alex
Just a load
Reed's
of
gone
ex-Scunny
now.
players. Yeah. Well, he's got his wrestling to do or whatever it is.
Well, Alex Reed's joined the county retirement home over at Oldham.
Yeah.
Oh, is he really? Is that what it is?
Yeah. There's about 8 of them. It's ridiculous.
See, when Scunny used to be decent and everyone used to look up to them as being this team to follow, all they used to do was just take the decent lad we've got on loan and say, well, you apparently don't mind living here, so will you come and play here instead?
Not hurdle.
Yeah, you can come to us. And but they're so shit now, we can't do it in reverse. It's like we don't want any of you. I mean, we might just get like Joe Nuttall or someone just to stick him on the bench, but we wouldn't play him. Like they've gone so shit that we can't even enjoy a bit of vengeance and just cherry pick the best players.
You have a job with Nuttall because he's joined Oldham as well.
Has he really? Oh yeah, he has, hasn't he? Yeah, that was heartbreaking.
They're just chucking around three-year deals like confetti. They are, which is going to look good when they're in National League North, having players on 3-year contracts.
They've got the bloke who looks a bit like Andy Holt from Accrington, doesn't he? Like they're basically just chopped in, and he was talking about beating Dorking.
Yeah, they've got a cartoon owner, which always works out well in non-league. Yeah.
Oh, Scunny is so screwed. Like I'm starting to feel sympathetic. It's almost like I'd imagine like Man City fans felt for you guys when you got to like the nadir. It's like, this is actually not funny now. It's like watching. Did you see? Yeah. Did you see 24 Hours in A&E last night? Did anyone see that? I mean, this is terrible.
It's just a weird experiment taken on it. Not saying something.
Honestly, there was this woman who'd broken her ankle on like some inflatable run.
That.
Yeah.
Horrible.
That's kind of like you get to a point where your mate breaks their ankle and go, "This is really fun." Oh, actually, no. Please don't move because that's going to fall off. Like you get to that point where it's just not funny anymore. You're like, oh, I feel really sympathetic to you, and then they probably hate that even more.
That's what I'm like with City not winning the Champions League. It's just great every year.
Is it
brilliant?
I mean, I love that you can still hold that grudge. They're in a different, like they play football on a different planet now. It's like, yeah, wankers.
It's just funny though, isn't it? Seeing when some like bin man wins the lottery and then messes it all up and he's like back on the bins in 6 months. You do have a bit of It's like that.
There's so many lottery winners in Grimsby because there's nothing else to do apart from play the lottery. And there were so many of them. They all live in Barnard Lebec, and this guy had he built a pond in the shape of a carp and filled it with carp and stuff, and they all died because it wasn't the right water levels or whatever it was for it. But it was, it's just mad. And it's the same though. It's like, when in the FA Cup, like Lincoln City, aren't they doing well? No, fuck them. And the same with who was it? Who was it that did well last year? Or someone. Imagine like Bromley did it. Oh, look at them into the 5th round. Yeah, fuck them. No one likes them down here. Yeah.
Yeah, taking about how many did they take to Everton? Was it like 4,000 or something when they're getting like 1,500 at home? So
do you think Everton charged them? Did you think Everton charged their local radio to be able to, do the radio commentary?
I hope so. I bloody hope so. Oh God, I hope so. But possibly the most tin pot thing ever about non-league that was not being allowed to have coverage because they're asking them to pay.
It's just
other places as well.
Did it really? I can't remember it happening. Maybe Weymouth. I don't know. But it's just like these clubs that never have that sort of following that have, a local person there. It's usually some guy in the crowd on a phone. But yeah, it's it's like, no, we've got actual commentary teams that come down and they actually have to, commentate on this shit. John Tonda just gets more and more depressed and hates the referee more and more with each game. Before they even start now, he's just like, this one's shit. We had this one last year.
He was living for the. Is that the guy who does your stream, the commentary on your stream?
Yeah. It's the local BBC radio bloke.
Yeah, that's what I was watching through the Fire Stick, and I had to mute him after about
I had to
5 minutes because one of the, I mean, we all like a biased commentator because John Kieran's great, but obviously he's biased in favour of County. But 5 minutes in, I was just. I mean, I've been pissed for like a week non-stop, and I was also to throw myself through the window.
There was a couple of times when he said something like, so he's almost like, oh, Grimsby are the better team. Oh, we're the better team, aren't we? And his co-commentator went, not really, no. Like dead time like that. It's like, what game was he watching?
The co-commentator was Gary Croft, who used to play for Blackburn and stuff. Right, and he got sold for quite a bit of money. He was also the first player. This is the most Grimsby thing. The first player to ever play with an electronic tag while also playing football. And the way he got it was hilarious. Apparently, he got it once when he told the police officer it wasn't him driving or something like that, and then he scored in like the Ipswich Norwich derby. And the policeman obviously sees him on the back pages, like Gary Croft scores. It's like, oh no, I've been caught.
We've got a comment here from Ryan Moore. He's got a friend that works at Bournemouth, and they can't really explain why they charge other clubs to broadcast the games. Now, I think that whoever's asking is probably not asking enough questions there. What are they saying? What is it? The 5 whys? You ask a question and they've just gone, we don't really know. Okay, thanks.
We'll just keep doing it.
Just keep on doing it. Yeah.
It's just it's like that old story, wasn't there, with that guy who used to be opposite Bristol Zoo and used to own the car park, and then he died.
Nobody asked him.
Yeah, and nobody knew who he was, and he just took like 300 quid a day. It's just some person charging them every year because isn't the Boreham Wood bloke the guy who's in charge of the National League now? He's like the director or something.
I think so.
I don't know.
Tells you all you need to know.
Yeah. It sounds about right. But it's going to be 3 up soon, isn't it? We're on the National League before we wrap up because
I don't mind that.
I don't know.
I mean, if we lose a few more, I might give a shit again. But
yeah. But they should do like they do in Germany and stuff. They should have a playoff between like third bottom in League 2 against like third in the National League. It'd be good. Have a little playoff thing. That would be interesting.
That would be a car crash, especially for the first few seasons. It would just be terrible. You imagine like who's like third bottom at the moment, like Gillingham. They must be fucked, like completely and utterly screwed. And then they go to Wrexham or they go to Woking, who are just a really sort of trimmed down, lean outfit that know what they're doing, and it would like Gillingham a 6-0 down within the first half.
I honestly reckon like 99 times out of 100, the National League team would win that.
Oh yeah, massively all the
Yeah.
time.
Easy.
But I don't know what happens in League Two. It's a bit like a little bit of a trans. You go like, this is just a bit. We'll just be a bit shit again. Like we kept most of the squad, and it's just like, well, we'll just lose. We'll just draw every couple of weeks.
Well, weirdly enough, because mine and Russ's big bugbear at the start of this season was that we tried to change too much, tried to shoehorn like 7 or 8 new signings all into the squad at the same time. And I was looking back at some clips, finding some clips from old podcasts from last year, and on one of them, we're talking about Grimsby being Russ, and we say like, well, they've kept most of the same team together, and we said, yeah, we should have done that, and just for it sort of.
Yeah, but it started well, and then it kind of goes because oh shit, we didn't actually add anybody else. That's a problem when they get injured, like McAtee out, Ryan Taylor out, and that's just the way of it. And the only guy we lost was Ben Fox, who's like kicking their ass in Northampton now. But it'll be good. Well, this is us done then. We won't see you till next season if you
Well, we've got the inevitable FA Cup 4th round game at Brundle Park.
That's true. Yes, I can't wait for that. Oh God, we're gonna beat Burton, aren't we? That's good. Who have you got?
Walsall at home.
God, yeah, the FA Cup curse is strong with us, isn't it? That is terrible. Is it on telly yours?
There's dodgy streams.
I've got to go. I've just heard my lad fall down the stairs.
Yeah, we heard that. See you later.
Yeah, see you later.
Have a good one.
That's probably the best. That's probably the best exit we've ever had.
I was like, some people will do anything to get off talking to us. It's like, right, if I'm still talking at nearly 20-8, just throw yourself down the stairs.
Yeah, or better still, get his missus to throw his kid down the stairs.
I really don't want to go to Winter Wonderland, Dad.
Oh, brilliant! So yeah, that is the last we'll see of them. I doubt we'll get them. Well, we might get them in the FA Cup. We will. Yeah,
we will get them in the FA. Honestly, FA Cup, that draw, it's going to be Man United, Arsenal, Grimsby, and us left in the draw as the last 4 teams, and we're going to get Grimsby away. Calling it now.
Well, just to be in the 4th round for the first time since
2000 or 2001.
Is that when we played Spurs? Yeah. And we got battered. As Daz Sampson said, and what is it? Flinny's arse is still in the penalty area at White Hart Lane. Something like that. I can't remember what he said.
Oh God.
Oh yeah. So Happy New Year, everyone. Happy New Year.
Yeah.
Gwoni. I think
Goodney. I've met Goodney.
Oh, Goodney. Okay, yeah.
I always think he sounds like he should have played for Bolton, like in the late 90s.
Yeah.
He had a lot of Icelandics, didn't they?
You can say he's Icelandic, and his surname, right? I'm having that because I'm a massive fan of Sigurd Ross and I'm a Johnson. So I'm changing my name by default to Russ Sigurd Johnson.
You are a massive Johnson. Let me be the first to say it.
So yes, Happy New Year to one and all. At this point, please do like and subscribe, and rate us and comment on any podcast player that you're listening to us on. And we are part of the Talksport fan network now. So these little adverts that you see that you hear at the start, and the middle, of the end on the podcast that's because of that. Happy days.
Yes, we had an email from him the other week, didn't we? And that was a hairy moment. The email we got from him. Oh.
Yeah, it was actually. Yes.
That ruined my Christmas.
Yeah. James Somerset says Sigurd Ross are very good, in fairness, because James Somerset is the leading critique on bands. So
no, he's a leading critique on you. I think he's surprised.
Is he surprised? Is he?
You like something good, yeah.
I suppose I do put myself in the window to be critiqued, though, when I'm doing a podcast. So I can't really argue at that.
That's why I just critique myself every week, just to save other people doing it.
Yeah.
Just to turn up and slag myself off for an hour.
Yeah, should we do a bit of admin now before we move on to the Walsall match? Because we've got plenty of talking to do about Walsall. And we've covered Grimsby, so we don't need to do that. What admin have we got? I've not got anything written down, but we are going to get JJ on in the next few weeks. We're just setting that up. So James Jennings, he's coming on. And like Nick said, on the last show, and I think at the top of this show, where I said it, the 96-97 lot that I managed to get numbers from when they came to visit Edgeley Park, and I was mithering Sean Connolly in the toilet, no less. Yeah, we'll line some of those up, and we'll get some of those on.
Sounds like a plan. Yeah, we'll start bothering them and get them on. Yeah. And then we might look at some more live stuff as well. We'll see how we feel, won't we, Russell?
Yes, you see how I feel. You mean? Yes, of course. Yeah.
Well, I thought you absolutely smashed the quiz. I mean, not in terms of the writing and hosting of it. I mean, I certainly didn't smash the quiz in terms of. You know what? I turned up thinking, oh, it's all a big joke. How we're going to be the comedy team that's going to have a bloody good laugh, but isn't going to get any answers right. And then as it was starting, I thought, I think I might surprise a few people here. And then within 10 minutes, I was just like, no, I might as well just get pissed.
Get more pissed, you mean? I mean, you and Andy turned up half cut anyway.
No, I'd only had two. I had two pints before. I was hopped up on excitement.
Oh, is that what it was?
I was high on life, Russ.
Well, towards the end, I mean, I'm a pretty patient person, but towards the end, I was getting a bit fraught with it all. I see. Yeah, I mean, we've not put the audio out yet, have we?
No, because I'm having a bloody nightmare with that. It's been a horrible time of it. It's absolutely dire because someone fucked that right up, didn't they?
Yeah. Do you know? I brought all the gear, set it all up, wrote it all. All you had to do was turn up and drink beer, but I fucked it up. So thanks for that.
And the thing is, before we got started, I went on when we were playing the music and stuff through PA. I went to move towards your laptop to just double check that, and then you went, "What are you doing? What are you doing?" I'm like, "Fine."
No,
another drink.
You went to the mixer and started twisting a knob that had nothing to do
No,
with anything.
I did not.
I
did not twist any knobs that evening. No knobs.
Anyway, shall we get on to
that's a downright lie, Russell Johnson, and I'm not happy with that.
Right, should we move on to the Walsall?
It's good.
It was very good.
Good night, yeah. The after party was good as well.
Yeah, it was good. Yeah, and thanks to Paul and Cheryl.
You know your names, Russ.
I knew Paul. I just wasn't sure about Cheryl, but yeah.
Cheryl wasn't there. Cheryl had seen the iceberg. She bailed. She's like, "Nah, I'm not coming."
Yeah, fair play to her. Fair play to her. So yeah, cheers to them two for letting us do that at Stockport Gin. And yes, we will see how we feel about doing more of those.
I'll just do more without you. I mean, it'll be terrible. I mean, if you imagine what that quiz had been like if you weren't there, that's pretty much what everything would be like if I did it on my own. It'd be horrible.
We'll have to talk about it offline.
It's a place to do it, isn't it? Really, yeah.
Shall we move on to the Walsall match?
Let's do that.
What a win. Kyle Wotton, 2 goals.
Twice at the double.
Twice. He got a brace, didn't he, as they say?
He got a brace, yeah.
Nice pitch. We were able to play our game.
Yeah. Nice pitch at the Poundland Bescott Stadium.
Yeah. Not sure about the name. Nice pitch, and not as many players that were poorly sick.
Yeah, I didn't get to impress that on Alex enough that we had like a bug going around. Like, even Dave Challoner was under the weather as well, wasn't he?
Yeah, well, after the Grimsby game, he sounds terrible. His post-match interview, but you can't say that, can you, to Alex? Because it's just sour grapes, isn't it? Oh, you've the pitch. Oh, we were sick. We had players out. We lost one in the warm up. Not allowed to say it. Just sound bitter, don't we?
Can't say anything nowadays, can you?
No, you can't say anything. You just get thrown in jail if you say anything.
These days, if you say anything, you get thrown in jail.
Yeah. Have you got the goals? Actually, should we talk about the goals?
Have I got the goals? It would have been a pretty poor show if I'd gone and found all them classic clips from last year's shows and then not got the goals as well. Of course, I've got those. Would you like the first one or the second one first?
Well, I think let's go in chronological order from the first half kickoff.
So we're really stepping it up in 2023, aren't we? Going chronological first time for everything. Oh, let's have a look at the first one then, shall we?
Great goal. Great assist from Akil Wright. And this is a team, don't forget, that really good form going into this match.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Top of the form table above us, I think. Am I right in saying that at the time? And their home form generally, they're getting about nearly 2 points a game at home this season. So to go there and largely control it, I just thought it was really pleasing. And that first goal, I don't know what the defender was doing. I mean, I guess he just missed it, I guess. But
so it lost the flight of it.
Yeah. But yeah, great finish. Used the defender in front of him to sort of shield it from the keeper. Yeah, keeper will be disappointed with that, I think, because it's not exactly in the corner, but who cares? It's 1-0 to us, so.
Yeah, I think it was a bit unsighted, wasn't it? But yeah, you'd expect him to be doing it. Lovely controlled finish, though. From what it's so easy to just absolutely, I'm trying to think of the word, absolutely cunt it towards goal. I don't think that is the word. But
yeah, what's the one that Sam Burns used on radio?
It's definitely not the one I just said.
No, it's not. It starts with SP. It's not It's not spazzy. It's something like that. I can't remember what he says.
Spanked.
No. There's another word. If anyone knows what it is, please do thingy. Do message in. But yeah, lovely control. And for someone who I wouldn't say he's been getting a lot of pelters, but there are people in the fan base that haven't rated him. I think he gets through so much work, and now it's starting to pay off with his goals.
It's always a target man that's the object of.
We've said this before, haven't we?
Yeah, it really annoys me. It really does annoy me. I mean, I'm over it now. I'm not. Yeah, but fine. It'll be okay. He's been. I mean, it was decent. It was decent earlier on in the season. He just wasn't. With a player like it kind of takes a bit of time for players to get used to where he wants the ball and stuff like that. But yeah, now he'll end up with double figures at the very least, which for a target man is want.
Absolutely, yeah. County 1883 says got pelters on Twitter for mentioning the pitch about the Grimsby match. That's Twitter for you, mate. That's Twitter for you.
Yeah, luckily you're only on the cool social networks, aren't you? Just like Facebook.
Yeah, well, I'm hardly on that, to be honest. I just post bits and bats.
Yeah, best way, isn't it?
Yeah, I'm not on the boards. I've not been on the boards either for years. God. What am I going to do?
It's a good job I'm on the boards on Twitter, isn't it? Because otherwise no one would know this show was on.
No, I'm sure they will. I'll start handing out leaflets. I'll go around doing a mail shot.
Yeah, let's do that.
Oh, there we go. That's what I was looking for. He put some swaz on it. Now, that's not what Wootton did. I know, but that's the word I was looking for.
That's what it sounds. I like that. Put some swaz on it. That maybe that should be. We should do T-shirts that say put some swaz on it.
Put some swaz on it. Yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's a really good idea.
I think we found our episode title, haven't we?
Yeah, we have. Unless it's Podcast Sexy Party Romp Feud. That's another title contender.
Oh yeah. That's a lot earlier as well. So when I'm watching back, I'll find that one first. Yeah.
Although it does sound like it's come from the Sun, so we might want to avoid it.
Well, I'm sure our TalkSport overlords will chuck us some extra advertising revenue for pushing another one of their sadly not yet defunct titles.
Careful what you say. We'll be monitored. No, we're not. I'm
not bribing anyone for information as per the email, so it's fine. What? That was such like a weirdly specific email that I thought we'd done something wrong. It's like, oh, you're not allowed to pay people for information because it counts as a bribe. It's like, Ross, what have you done? Yeah, I'll leave you alone. This is what happens.
They're obviously very cautious, aren't they, about the past?
There's nothing in there about hacking the voicemail of missing presumed dead teenage girls, though. Weird that.
It is, yeah. That wasn't. It might have been in the annex that we didn't read. Anyway, let's move on. So yeah, lovely finish. We were able to play our game. I believe you got the second goal as well.
Yeah, of course I have. 1,200 travelling fans. That's a lot for a trip to Poland over Christmas, isn't
it? That's a lot. Yeah, I'm saying nothing about travelling fans. No, I'm staying away. Staying away. We're not allowed to say anything about people taking fans places because everyone's skint. So yeah, but the thing about that goal is that Akil Wright was involved in that again as well, and as well as the first one, which is lovely to see. And then obviously Mr. Bump. Yeah, press it. He played right side of centre half. You know,
that's a brave position to press that high up the pitch, isn't it? Because if he's caught out position, doesn't get the ball, but you just every time he presses it high, you just get the feeling he's going to win it.
Yeah.
Signing of the season, do you think Akil Wright so far?
Yeah, definitely up there. Horsefall's probably up there as well. Yeah. I'm trying to think who we signed now.
Kyle Wotton as well. He's starting to.
Yeah. They're all starting to click into it. It's all starting to click. Will Collar, that's not the first time he's had the bandage around his head, is it? I'm sure I've seen him with that before.
I think so, yeah, and I think it's a magic bandage because Crowsdale had it against Crewe on Boxing Day and was just unstoppable. I'm assuming it's not the same bandage for like infection control and stuff like that. But
yeah, got all that money, but only one bandage.
Yeah. But nobody else go up for a header now because we can't. We only have one bandage.
Yeah, lovely goal. It was. I mean, I wouldn't say lovely team goal because I know Thingy has here. JK said lovely team goal. I kind of disagree with that because the move went into the box and that phase of play was then defended. Not defended well, but it was defended. And then Collar recycled it, didn't he? For the goal.
Don't go disagreeing with John Bilsbury.
No.
I'll be on you like a fucking puma.
It's a nice disagreement. I'm just saying it. A good team goal is the one we scored against Wrexham at home last season, isn't it? You know, when we practically walked it in. But if you remember that,
I've tried to blank out.
No, the season before that, actually. Jesus, behind closed doors.
Oh yeah, again, that's another lot that I've just blanked out. Yeah. I've forgotten all about that. I honestly couldn't. The only goal I can really remember from the behind closed doors period was Kitchen against Chesterfield away, where he cut in on his right hand side. And other than that, I just nothing. I've got nothing. And then it's same with the Steve Rusk period as well. Just nothing. Just all. I vaguely remember Rydell scoring the winner against Wrexham.
That wasn't a good goal though.
No, it's sort of tapping, wasn't it?
Yeah. I think Ollie Crankshaw's first goal for the club against Barnet under Steve Rusk was a good one.
Yeah, probably was. I'd imagine it was, but
if I say so.
Yeah. And that's Russ Johnston saying it at last.
Sid Freeman, who would you be your dream draw in the fourth round if we beat Walsall?
It doesn't matter because we're getting Grimsby.
We've already said
Grimsby. It's happening.
We're getting Grimsby. So yeah, really good second goal. Woods again puts in a shift, gets a brace. Happy days. Yeah.
If only he managed to score with his left foot after that, he would have got the perfect hat trick.
He would have done. Yes.
Has a county player ever got the perfect hat trick?
Sure, they have.
I think Phil Jevons might have. I don't know why, but I've just got memories of Phil Jevons maybe getting one. See, I can't remember the Steve Rusk era. I can't remember behind closed doors, but I can remember the depth of National League North. How's about that, eh?
Well, nice. You're not one of those non-league weirdos, are you? Who wants us to be down there because you can have a pint by the pitch.
There's parts of it that I miss. That first season in National League North was like the first time in my life where like work and finances have lined up to the point that I could go like every week. Before that, I used to go on my own to county. Before that, as we were dropping out of the Football League, I used to just go on my own every week. And that National League was the first time I had like a group of friends who I still count as friends now. They probably don't count me as friends, but I still count them as friends. And that's all that matters, isn't it? I mean, the real football success is the friends we made along the way, Russell.
It is. And the real winner
is trophies and stuff.
And trophies, yeah. 4 matches, yeah. Ryan Moore Adam Lafondra did when we got 4 in a game, right? Yeah. Was that Wrexham?
Yeah. Yes, it was Wrexham at home, wasn't it? Yeah. Yeah, that might be it.
Yeah. Yeah. Wrexham are getting a lot of airtime tonight for all different manner of reasons, aren't they?
Alarm going off in
in the Fearless in Devotion Towers. There's a lot.
Yeah. Just bottles, just crate after crate of aviation gin. Just stacked up everywhere. I'd imagine it being like the flat in Only Fools and Horses, just with shit stacked up everywhere. But you don't like Only Fools and Horses, so you wouldn't know. Darren Bowden says Luke Beckett also got the perfect hat trick. This is what we want. This is the knowledge.
This is the
we don't possess.
This is the interaction that we need. It absolutely is. We'll come on to Tanto in a minute, Ian. Last words on the Walsall match before we look forward to the Walsall match, which is quite a weird thing. I'm not sure we've ever done this before.
Very surprised. I won't say a surprising win given our form, but I went into it expecting a draw. I expect us to maybe concede, what with them being the other side who are in good form alongside ourselves. So absolutely buzzing. And once we went 1-0 up, though, there was a period where we were letting them back into the game, letting them on top, but we weathered the storm well. Yeah, pretty much the perfect away performance, you could say, I reckon. Well, clean sheet. On Ben Hinchlif's 299th appearance, no less.
Yeah. Did you? That's a point. Did you watch the post-match interview from Charlie? Did you see that? And
the Grimsby one.
Yeah, and Liam mentioned about his 300th game, and Charlie wasn't critical, but he basically said, "Well, yeah, it's okay getting 300 games, but you want it to be a winning game."
That's the option that I choose on Football Manager when there's like you get a question in a press conference about a player breaking a record or something like that. Oh yeah, but it comes at a detriment, and then the players just all kick off and go mental.
Yeah, hate it when that happens.
Yeah, it's horrible, isn't it? It's almost like it's just unrealistic or something. John Lindley says, not being picky, wasn't it Simon Rusk, not Steve? No, it's Steve. Definitely Steve. Definitely Steve.
And the comment of the evening goes to the Boonab, which I love. Sure, Chirac must have got the perfect hat trick.
So we've just got 2 shit players wrapped up in one comment.
I love it. That's what I love. That's what I love about doing the podcast.
It's like a shit player, pigs in blankets, that is.
Oh, love it. So yeah, it's going to be a different Walsall that we face on Sunday, though. Sunday at 2:00, isn't it? What's fucking?
See, 2:00. I was thinking about this yesterday. As Sunday kickoffs go, I quite like 2:00. It gives you a good couple of hours on the ale beforehand, and then you can either go out after or you're home in time for your roast dinner. Yorkshire pudding's dependent. But I quite like 2:00 for Sunday kickoff. Like R4, like they have in the Premier League. That's not R4 on a Sunday now, because you want if the game goes really well, you want the option of a few scoops after, don't you? And when you're back at school on Monday and all that, these things can degenerate. I quite like 2:00. It'd be worse if it was like 12:00. 12:00 kickoff should only be happening on like parks on a Sunday morning.
Yeah. So they can get out of the way and get back to the pub. I just don't think there's any rhyme or reason behind 2:00 on a Sunday. Why have they done it if we're not on telly? I don't understand.
Don't BBC have a thing? The BBC have like the round the grounds type Final Score Soccer Saturday type thing for FA Cup. So they split the games across the Saturday and Sunday.
Right.
So
that's the reason. That's it.
So they'll basically say, "Oh, there's been a goal at Stockport. Let's have a look at it. Oh, look, County have gone 5-0 up after 20 minutes." Mental stuff.
I mean, we shouldn't complain really, because we got Matt Bryan in Florida. I think he's in 9 a.m. for him, and then we got Sydney Exile. It's 1 a.m. for him. So I'm going to shut up now. I'm not complaining about 2:00 on a Sunday.
I'm quite all right with it. I can have like me breakfast sandwich, and then I'll be getting peckish by the time I get to the ground, and then they can pick up
courtyard
from the courtyard, not the fan zone. We decided last week we're not calling it the fan zone. We're calling it the courtyard.
I listened. Yes, I agree. It's the county courtyard, isn't it? Yeah.
County Courtyard, yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, apparently there's dodgy streams and stuff like that because it's on ESPN Plus, I think, in America. Walsall tweeted a thing about it. So it's on ESPN Plus for Walsall's large American following.
Fair dues. Can't
That's
argue with
all
that.
right, isn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
But we'll be there. But it's good that our transatlantic listeners, readers,
are still listening to us.
yeah. Yeah.
Shall we talk about Tanto Oliafi?
That was a brave effort at his name there. Nice.
Yeah, thanks. I think I have asked him on that. Ask me anything. How do you pronounce your surname? And that is purely out of respect because I think it's nice that people get people's names correct. I think didn't Crystal Palace do a full player thing where all the players said how they pronounced their names?
Yeah, and it's
really
like Joel Ward.
Yeah. What even like Wilfred Zaha went Wilfred Zaha. Oh, this is stupid. But some of him, I mean, you do need to know what they are. I think just out of respect, so we're calling. But Tanto, we'll call him Tanto, can't we?
Yeah, I love that Tanto. Yeah. And if we sign, well, I tweeted this and no one laughed, so I'm going to say it and no one's going to laugh. But if we were to sign Niall Ranger on loan, then we'd have Tanto and a Lone Ranger up front, wouldn't we?
I think that's pretty funny. I like that. I like that.
This is what happens when I'm in charge of our Twitter account, Russ. This is the sort of shit that we spout out.
There we go. There's Isaac Oliafi on Football Manager. If you can see that.
Oh, yes.
Lovely stuff.
Oh, very good. Yeah. Good.
Yeah.
That's yeah. Quick, strong, bit of everything.
Yeah. Have a guess what I got for Christmas. But yeah, I mean, obviously can't look too much into this. This is him at Millwall, so he's 3 stars at Millwall. So he's obviously better than League Two, I would say, with quite some ease, I would say. And I'm looking forward to seeing him play. What do we know about him? He played for Sutton. I think we know that. I think we knew. We didn't need Football Managers to tell us that.
He looked very handy against us for Sutton in that behind closed doors season in the National League. I think he scored against us as well. Scored a very good goal, like decent control. I think he's one of them, isn't he? I know that for all the talk about Shimanga and stuff, Shimanga's going to want to come in and be playing every game, which means you're going to have to move Madden because we shouldn't be dropping Madden. So Madden will have to move to the number 10 role, and then you've got someone wearing number 9 and playing the number 10 role, which is just going to play havoc with my mental health. So we can't have that, can we?
No.
So yeah, no brainer of a signing really. I know Gillingham were in for him late on, and Gillingham seemed convinced that they were going to get him. But I mean, at the end of the day, really, let's not be silly.
No. Sid Freeman has put his full name up. Do you fancy a go with that, Nick?
No, I don't. No. I'll leave that. I'll leave it. Actually, if I try that and get it wrong, I'm getting cancelled.
No, I'll have a go. So Isaac Tani Toluwalaba Adoralu Watimil Ayin Oleafi. I hope I've done that some kind of justice.
You'll probably have to say it faster than that when you do it on co-commentary.
Yeah, I know. But there you go. Cheers for that, Sid.
Do you reckon John Kieran's just like been saying
Tanto.
that into the mirror? It's like, I'm gonna get it.
I'm gonna get it. No, welcome aboard, Tanto. Looking forward to seeing you play. Yeah, we've got another one here. Scored at the railway end. Ian Dowden said scored in the railway end.
Yeah, for Sutton. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, looking forward to that. There we go. The technology. It's amazing.
It's mad, isn't it? It's great, isn't it?
Yes. Are you expecting any more in January? I'm sure we'll talk about this as the month goes along. But
obviously we don't know the details of the injury to Horsefall yet. So that could be an option for maybe. I'd like to see a specialist left-sided centre back, a left-sided Akil right or Akil with left, as someone on. That wasn't me. It wasn't me. It was incredible chunk on yellow board, and I laughed like an absolute lunatic at that for a good 3 or 4 days. But yeah, that is what we need. We need a left-sided Akil right. I think would be perfect because Hussey looked like he might have been the answer at one point, but he's obviously having injury trouble. Johnson, it's going to be interesting to see what happens with Johnson now because I don't think the gaffer was too happy with him dropping out with an injury.
Yeah, I got the impression of that as well.
Yeah. And I don't think Johnson offers us as much. I think he's very good defensively, but I don't think he offers us as much going forward. Especially now we've got Wright on that other side. He kind of pales into insignificance next to him in terms of his ability to get us up the pitch.
Yes, yeah, it does. I mean, just look, but we've just seen him on the Walsall goals, haven't we? You know, he's involved in both. Yeah, there is a blog that I read actually recently. I think it's Off the Line blog, and it said a player for each League Two team they should sign in January, and the one that they picked out for County was a left-sided centre half.
Yeah.
And I can't remember what the name was, from Rotherham, I think. But I'll dig it out. But I just found that interesting that they picked out. I mean, I know they do the research and things, don't they? But they picked out a left-sided centre half for us. Yeah,
I'd kind of be. We don't know what's happening with McDonald at the moment. I think his contract expires. I think this week. I think it might be Friday.
I know, but you'd renew it, wouldn't you? You'd have him. I'd keep McDonald every day of the week.
Well, if he's going to be, if he can maybe become that left-sided centre back, I know he doesn't really have the height or the physical stature of the others, but at the same time he's good at getting forward. But Rydell and Hippolyte are the two shouts at left wing back for me, to be honest.
Yeah. But don't forget we got Hussey as well. Hussey did really well at left centre back. So I'm not saying obviously not a long term answer, but he can definitely do a job.
Well, there just doesn't seem to be any sign of this injury kind of subsiding for him. It seems to be one thing or another since he had been out injured. I don't know. It's I think there will be more in terms of business in January. I think there has to be, but it's not going to be. I think we've learned not to just sign players for the sake of it now. It's got, especially considering we're doing well as well. You don't want to.
No,
don't
want to
rock the boat too much. Do you? Yeah, that's it. That's it. But yeah, that's definitely what I'd be looking for, a left side. Even if it's a left-sided centre back who can cover at centre back until Horse falls back, then that'd do me.
Yeah. Quick word on the right hand side as well. I know South of Wales is out currently. I'm not really sure how long for, but I don't know if you noticed James Brown on that awful pitch. He sort of went to take a throw. And we've all done it. Usually on ice or something. When you go to walk and your leg just comes from underneath you, and you stretch it slightly, and you're not expecting it. It happens more when you get older. Just for everybody, it's happened to him, and I just thought, is he going to be out now potentially for the Walsall match because he can do a really good job at the right wing back area, can't he? So
I'm not too sure how much we actually fancy him at the moment.
He doesn't seem to be getting any time, does he?
No, so it might come to a stage where Blackburn kind of look at bringing him back to get him football somewhere else. I mean, you'd imagine someone like Gillingham, who are just they're gonna get silly this month signing players. So you imagine he's the type of player they basically want to sign a whole new 11. So you'd imagine he's the type of player they'd look at. But I'm surprised at Bardsley doing so well at wing back. To be honest, I assumed he'd be cover for Wright in the right centre back role, and then Wright would in turn be cover for Crowsdale. But yeah, obviously he's not getting through 90 minutes yet, Bardsley. That you'd hope that'll come. But,
and I'm not sure. Well. I'm not sure Bardsley can do the full wing back role Tuesday, Saturday. I don't think his age probably suggests that. Yeah, Waggy. Cheers for that, mate. Jamie McCart, Rotherham on loan. It says that's who. So I mean, I've never heard of this person, Jamie McCart. I could probably look him up on Football Manager and share it now if you want.
He's never heard of you either, us.
I bet he has.
Oh yeah. Yeah. As soon as I said it, I was like, "What are you on about, mate?"
So yeah, I can't show you Jamie McCart on Football Manager because I've not scouted him, so there's not much on there.
Oh, you one of them who has the attribute masking on and all that?
Yeah. So you scouted him, yeah. It's got to be as realistic as possible.
I do when I start low down, but when you're at the top, it's just another roadblock in it in the way. I've not got the new one yet though.
It's good. Well, it's just an evolution of all the others.
Yeah. They've rebadged it, you fool.
Right, shall we wrap it up there?
Yes, that's as good a place as any, isn't it? I think we've covered everything in, I wouldn't say great detail, but acceptable level of detail, and that's what more can you ask for?
Yeah, that's all we ever do.
Yeah, just scratch the surface.
Yes. Please do like and subscribe. We're on 25 likes, so let's get that up because there's about 70 or 80 people watching and listening and things. So please do that and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be lovely. And if you're listening to us on the audio, please do give us a review and a rating.
Yes. That would be lovely.
That would be lovely. See you all on Sunday at 2:00. So we've got a free Saturday in the courtyard. That's where I will be.
Raising the roof.
Raising the roof, yeah. Listening to whatever band they've got on. That should be good.
Maybe it's not a band this time. That's not like a tease that I'm doing something, because I'm most certainly not. They won't let me in there.
What do you think? Do you think it's going to be some sort of comedian and stuff like that? Do you reckon they're going to mix it up a bit?
No. I think it'll be Das Sampson on the decks. The music decks, not the Christmas decks.
Right, yeah. Could be.
Burning up the courtyard. West side.
Nice. Right. I will be back next week. Same time, same place. None of the Christmas shenanigans that gets us all in different places at different times. Yeah. Okay. Cheers, everyone. See you later.
Bye, everyone.
Bye.